So you just had your fat transfer. When can you sit? Well, before I discuss when you can sit, I think it's most important to talk about when you need to sit. So there are 3 times right after surgery that you need to sit. The first one is to travel, for takeoff and landing on an airplane, because you have to sit for takeoff and landing. Otherwise, the air marshals are going to throw you off the plane. And I mean, everybody's got a mask on these days anyway. I don't even know how they're going to get anybody on the plane. So you got to sit normally for takeoff and landing. As soon as that seatbelt sign is off, I really want you to walk as much as you can. Stand as much as you can. Go hide yourself in the bathroom, lock yourself in for 30 minutes, go up and lock yourself in the other bathroom for 20 minutes, and before you'll know it, you're home. So you need to sit normally for takeoff and landing. The most important time is you need to sit every time before you stand up for the first 4 days after surgery. Every time you stand up, I want you to roll over onto your butt and sit exactly like I'm sitting for a full minute. 60 seconds, not a New York 2-second minute. 60 seconds, just like I'm sitting. Give your body a chance to adjust and slowly stand up. And the reason that I want you to do that is that if you're lying flat on your stomach and you stand up quickly, you will faint after this surgery. That's a very common thing, that people faint after surgery, and I don't want you hitting the floor. So very, very important to sit before you stand up, and every time before you stand up for the first 4 days after surgery. For the exact same reason, for those first 4 days, I want you to sit to go to the bathroom. Because patients try to do all kinds of crazy things. They get She-Renals, P-Easies, Go-Girls, kitchen funnels. They're sitting backwards, squatting, hovering, standing on their hands, standing on their heads, cartwheels, headstands, head spins like crazy sprinkler gone wrong. And you are going to end up peeing on your hands while you fall in the toilet, which I personally think is really funny. You're probably getting a visual right now. But really, you don't want to go there, and you don't want to end up in that weird corner behind the bathroom with the brush. The brush is not your friend. It's not a loofah. I've been there before. You don't want to be in that back corner. Mystery corner, no. So you need to sit every time before you stand up, and very, very important to sit to go to the bathroom. That's for the first 4 days. So now I've told you when you need to sit. Takeoff and landing on an airplane, sit to go to the bathroom, and sit every time before you stand up for those first 4 days. But when can you sit normally after surgery? Well, I've heard so many things. This is so controversial. Some people say, oh, you can sit right after surgery. Oh no, you can't sit for 6 months, 2 months. You can never sit again. Well, that would make your life pretty difficult. And what I've found over the last 10 years is the magic number is 3 weeks. 3 weeks appears to be the right amount of time where you can actually live your life normally, but patients maintain almost all of their volume. We think that if patients sit right after surgery, that you're putting pressure on the fat, and the fat doesn't get circulation, and it goes away, and you don't get as much volume. So you go through all of this, and you get no result. It's a myth that if you sit, it's going to make your butt flat, or squeeze that fat out to the sides, and you're going to kind of look like you got a frisbee butt. That's not true. If the fat's in the right place and it's going to stay permanently, sitting is not going to deform the shape of the buttocks, but what it does is it puts pressure on and less of that volume survives. So it's very important for those first 3 weeks, no sitting, no lying on your back or lying on your side. The only exceptions are the exceptions that I mentioned before. Sitting every time before you stand up for those first 4 days and sitting to go to the bathroom. If you're very careful for those first 3 weeks, more than 90% of the volume is permanent in my patients. If you're not careful, all the fat goes away, and you went through all of this for nothing. It's tough love for those first 3 weeks. It means no driving, and it also means none of the pillows they sell online. Boppy pillow, BBL pillow, happy booty pillow, rolled up yoga mat, cut out lawn chairs, inflatable rubber ducky pool toys. I have heard and seen everything. You probably have heard about and have already purchased everything. So send those things back. You will not need them. It's the first time you're ever going to save money in this whole process. You do not need the pillow. And the reason the pillows are bad, there are really 2 reasons. The first one, they're pretty much an excuse for patients to sit. And then you end up with no result. The other reason that the pillows are bad is that they put pressure on the back of the legs. Patients always say, oh yeah, I sat with the pillow and my feet fell asleep. Well, does that sound normal to you? So we think that the pillows are putting pressure on the blood vessels in the back of the leg, which is making the blood pool in the feet. That could potentially lead to a higher risk of getting blood clots in the legs. So pillows could potentially be dangerous, especially right after surgery when people are using them. Pillows are even more dangerous on an airplane because at altitude in an airplane, patients already have a higher chance of getting blood clots in the legs, which is why we want you up and walking on that flight. Adding a pillow into the whole equation makes things even that much worse. So no pillows, not even for takeoff and landing on the flight. You will be fine. So 3 weeks, no sitting, no lying on your back, no lying on your side. It sounds crazy, but you will get through it. And if you're careful for those first 3 weeks, you are going to have lifelong results.